Good morning. This is Dr. Timothy Scott back here at LifePoint Medical. It is Monday morning. It is November the 14th of 2022. And I want to thank you for tuning in this morning to me and listening to what I got to say. So we'll go ahead and start. So first of all, one of the things, when I'm thinking about what I do here at the office, and I think about the market and who I'm serving and what I'm doing, I always go back to one thing, and I think this is a key thing in medicine. And if you were to ask me, Dr. Beck, you're wanting to corner a market here in Rabun County, which market are you wanting to corner? And I said, I want to corner the market in listening. Okay, in other words, I want to be the person, or I want LifePoint Medical to be the organization that actually listens to you and helps you in the best way we can. I know that seems like that would be intuitive. However, that is the most common complaint that we get, is we're not being listened to, and we need somebody to listen to what's going on. I was raised up through medicine. It was said to me very commonly, shut up and the patient will tell you what's wrong with them. And I do believe a lot of that is true. The only caveat is I think that sometimes they will tell you what's wrong with them, but it's not what they think's wrong with them. But nonetheless, they'll tell you what's wrong with them, but you may not agree with them, but they'll tell you. So being quiet and listening is something that I actually talk to my staff about every day. I said, hey, how do we stop sometimes and just listen to the patient and make sure we're getting exactly what they want or what they're trying to tell us. Again, we listen to patients sometimes, and there's other important things going on, so we do have to do a little bit of that. In other words, when a patient comes in and they're complaining about their finger hurting and their chest hurting, I usually want to go with the chest first, and get that out of the way, even to the point sometimes I forget about the finger, but that's not on purpose. It's just there's sometimes an overriding issue that makes you just have to prioritize your issues. So we want to listen. We want to hear what you have to say, particularly if you're having problems. And we also, I'm okay with you telling us if you don't think we listen good enough, so we can go back and listen. It's just, we can't promise that we'll agree with you, or can't promise we do anything. We just promise we'll listen, and then certainly we will do and say or respond the best way we know how. Okay, and trying to take care of you and meeting the standards of care and doing all that stuff. So it's not that complicated. We just want to listen to you. We want to be that organization that listens to the patient. All right, so let's talk about, speaking of listening, I asked 10 of our employees before I did this video, hey, is there anything you want me to talk to the patient about? Is there anything you want me to talk to the patient about? So I listened to them, and every one of them said the same exact thing. And I know I've harped on this a million times, and that is, could you please have them bring their medicines to the appointment? Please tell people to bring their medicines to the appointment. And it's a daily thing. It's a daily challenge. And we still, and interestingly, the people we're probably talking about are not listening to this video. Okay, but people come in and there's a medication dilemma. They don't know what they're on. The pharmacy doesn't know what they're on. The only way to know what they're on is actually get the bottles and look at them. Okay, so that is a thing. And I get the frustration with it. But it's the best way we know how to manage your medications safely and appropriately. So let's talk a little bit about a medical issue. So the time changed this last weekend. And that's always a good time to talk about seasonal affective disorder, because I do think it bothers a lot of people. And I do think a lot of it has to do with that, somewhat has to do with that time change. It has to do with the amount of light that you're exposed to versus darkness. We call it seasonal affective disorder, and it looks and acts a lot like depression. And it has to do with even the season. You've got decreased sunlight, you've got cold, so people are staying in more, and then you got the holiday seasons coming up, which a lot of times the holidays will generate emotions and feelings of the past, and I understand that. But it all collectively together can be very harmful to patients. And so that's one of the things we want to be listening out for is seasonal affective disorder, where people get down and out during the winter or the holiday seasons. And I do know from my own personal experience that it seems like when the time changes at the other end, when we spring forward and we get more daylight, my attitude and my spirit lifts a little bit. And it's a springtime, and you can feel the new life coming up. So anyway, it's a real problem. We certainly want to talk to you about it, or listen to you if you feel like you got it, and certainly if it's getting extreme, like it's affecting your ability to function, or you want to hurt yourself or others or anything like that, that's a perfect time to come and talk to us about what's going on. Let us try to help you. I promise. Okay. Otherwise, I mean, the COVID thing is still around. We're still getting a few positives. I'm leaving the vaccination up to the patients themselves. I do recommend you get the flu shot. I got mine a couple of weeks ago. I do know the flu's going around. We've had to deal with it several times over the last week, and we're probably going to get a few today. So anyway, there's a lot of little viruses going around, not just COVID-19. So the best thing you can do is use that hand sanitizer and just take, again, I think, and I don't know, I mean, I've kind of had to nail down my personal hygiene issues over the last few years because I work in an environment where I'm constantly exposed to people, and I've got my routine where I use hand sanitizers and soaps throughout the day to make sure I keep my hands clean, and I try to avoid touching my mouth or my eyes, anything with the dirty hands. So I think those are the best ways to avoid all these viruses as much as you can. Okay, there's some you can't, and certainly if you have a baby in the house, they're sticking their finger in your mouth and coughing in your face and all that stuff. So we have to deal with that. Okay, but if you can get into the habit of being hygiene and keeping your hands clean and keeping them out of your mouth and your eyes, I think that's the best chance you got of actually avoiding getting some of these viruses that are running around the community. All right. Thank you so much for listening to me today. And we certainly want to hear from you if you need some help. Okay, we want to listen to what you have to say. 706-782-0016 is our number. Please give us a call if you need it. Thank you.